Tutankhamun is remembered for a curse in a mountain of gold. But the real story is far more political and far more unsettling. The so-called curse made headlines, yet the true danger surrounding the boy king came from power, not magic. Tutankhamun became pharaoh around the age of 9, in a kingdom still shaking from religious revolution. His father, Akhenaten, had tried to erase Egypt's old gods and replace them with the worship of a single deity, the Aten. This experiment shattered tradition, weakened institutions, and angered powerful When Akhenaten died, Egypt was divided, unstable, and quietly furious. Tutankhamun did not inherit a throne of confidence. He inherited a crisis. Because he was a child, real power rested in the hands of advisors and generals. Two figures dominated his reign: a senior court official, and Hudemheb, a military commander. Both men were experienced, ambitious, and fully aware that a child king was a temporary obstacle. Early in Tutankhamun's reign, Egypt reversed Akhenaten's reforms. The old gods were restored, temples reopened, and the capital moved away from Akhenaten's city. Even Tutankhamun's name was changed to reflect loyalty to Amun, signaling a return to tradition. These moves were not the boy king's ideas. They were decisions made around him. Tutankhamun became a symbol used to heal Egypt's wounds while others steered the ship. He appeared in inscriptions as a restorer of order, but the hands behind the policy stayed mostly invisible. Behind the scenes, secession was already being calculated. Tutankhamun married Akhenaten, likely his half-sister, but the royal line was fragile. They had no surviving children, only stillborn daughters, which deepened uncertainty. In ancient Egypt, a weak succession invited danger as surely as invasion. Tutankhamun died around the age of 18, and the cause of death remains debated. Injuries, illness, infection, and complications from physical conditions have all been proposed. What matters more than how he died is what followed. The advisor, quickly became pharaoh, suggesting he was prepared. Akhenaten wrote a desperate letter to a foreign king asking for a husband, an extraordinary act of fear. She clearly did not want to marry which hinted pressure and threat inside the palace. That foreign prince never reached Egypt, and history went silent on the plot. I married Akhenaten and ruled briefly, just long enough to secure legitimacy. After him, Horemheb took the throne and erased much of what came before. Names were removed, monuments altered, and memory itself was reached. Tutankhamun became a footnote, not because he failed, but because he was inconvenient. His tomb was small and hastily prepared, suggesting his death was unexpected. Ironically, that modesty helped preserve it. While other royal tombs were looted over centuries, Tutankhamun's was buried and forgotten. In 1922, Howard Carter uncovered the tomb, and the world froze in awe. Gold, statues, shrines, and the famous mask created instant legend. Then deaths connected to the excavation fueled the myth of a curse. Newspapers fed the story, because fear sells better than context. But statistically, most people involved lived normal lifespans. The curse was a narrative, not a pattern. What the tomb truly revealed was political truth. Tutankhamun was buried with symbols of legitimacy he barely exercised in life. The wealth in his tomb contrasted sharply with his limited power. It exposed how much Egypt relied on image and ritual to maintain order. His burial was a final performance in a system already moving past him. The gold distracts us from the silence around his reign. Tutankhamun did not rule, Egypt ruled through him. He was a bridge between a radical past and a conservative future. That makes him dangerous to memory, because he reveals how power really works. Not through curses, but through quiet decisions made by adults behind a child king. The real intrigue of Tutankhamun is not death by magic. It is how Sali, a ruler, can be used, replaced, and erased. His tomb survived because history tried to forget him. And that is the final irony. The boy king became immortal not through power, but through obscurity. And if you want more stories like this, like the video and subscribe to History Refuge.